Today we had our third annual Citizen Hall of Fame. We had 18 finalists in 6 categories, and today we announced and inducted 7 of them as our new Hall of Fame inductees. In addition to that, we had 4 historic inductees that we honored, and Rich Hadley, who was our first recipient of the Elson S. Floyd Community Impact Award. And it's really an event about celebrating citizens of Spokane, celebrating this great city that we live in, and celebrating the people who really have significant impact in the region.
It's really important to honor those who have come before us and laid out the framework of our city. For instance, we honored Aubrey L. White, who was a park board member for 20 years and helped establish our park system and ensure that it would be a lasting legacy. It's exciting to honor people who have contributed wonderful things to our arts scene, our educational systems, our parks, our libraries, and of course, the reason we're all here today was to honor our Spokane Public Libraries. They were the beneficiary of any donations made today to the Spokane Public Library Foundation.
The library, as you know, is the center of cultural and educational opportunities for citizens to come in, to learn, to discover, to read. And this event is a fundraiser through the Spokane Public Library Foundation for the business and entrepreneurial services at Spokane Library. We have a new Level Up Resource and Business Center. We have a Bloomberg terminal in there, lynda.com, and really all kinds of business opportunities for people in the library. We are already planning for next year. Generally in January, we have a public nomination process that we open up to the community. We invite the community to suggest nominees in each of the categories and historic nominees, and then we bring a committee of community members together, and they ultimately make the final decisions.
Out here today with Cleaning from the Corridor. We're here at Kingsley Scout, a business on North Monroe, and we're here with about 80 students throughout Monroe here for Cleaning from the Corridor. We also have students working today down at Azars doing landscaping, planting, painting, all sorts of stuff to make our community a more beautiful place. And yesterday we had our planning department out at Christ Kitchen. It's a nonprofit here on North Monroe. They painted 2 office spaces, reorganized, and just beautified the space. So we're just so grateful for city employees getting out and taking part in this event.
I was familiar with it from last year and saw the work that they did, was very impressed, and so we were really eager to be a part of it, not only as recipients of the help, but also to be part of giving back to the North Monroe community. I just wanted to thank all the kids from the school. They've been absolutely awesome and hardworking, and we're just very, very thankful for all the work that they have done today.
Hi, I'm Officer Teresa Fuller with the Spokane Police Department, here to share some summer safety tips with you. First of all, bad guys, they have to have not only the motive, but the opportunity to commit a crime. And we want to help you take that opportunity away from them. For your garage, for instance, make sure that if you're not accessing things directly in your garage, keep it closed and locked. That way thieves can't see what's in it to come back later and take it, and can't take stuff out of your garage when you're not close to it.
Hi, I'm Chris Major, Education Coordinator for the City of Spokane Solid Waste Department and the Spokane Regional Solid Waste System. And we're going to be talking about the 3 R's, which everyone knows is reduce, reuse, recycle for managing their garbage. We usually think about recycling because that is the most visible. We see the big blue carts at our homes, at parks, in businesses, so it's easy to sort out our recyclables from the garbage. So it is great to recycle, and so much can go into your blue cart, but it is the third importance for the reduce, reuse, recycle, because once you get to the recycling part, you've already made your purchases. You've already created something out of the resources that went in to create this material. So if we think about reducing or reusing, then we're saving materials and the energy that's needed to create them before we even get to recycling. So we're going to be talking about reduce. Reduce is probably the most important R. So let's take a look at this garage. So think before you buy. Ask your question, do you really need it? If you're buying things that you don't really need or you only use once, the resources it takes to make that, to transport it, to package it, to put it on the shelf, and to sell it to you is very, very valuable. And if you only use it once, then are you really getting the worth out of it? So it is important to think about, do you really need it? Do you need to have the newest version of something, or can the thing that you have last a little bit longer? So think about tools. You know, a one-time job, do you really need to buy your own sledgehammer? Or is this something that you can borrow from a neighbor or family or friend? So we're talking about reuse. And you've got the clothes, you're outgrowing them, or your children might be outgrowing them. And so instead of throwing those in the garbage, a great place to take them is to Goodwill or a thrift store, because they'll find another user for them. So items that aren't fit to go to Goodwill or a thrift store, like if you've only got one shoe or you've got things that are ripped, those things can go to Gemtext. They have boxes around town, you can drop them off and dispose of them in those boxes, and then they go to be recycled. So for examples of how you can reduce your waste through purchasing, instead of buying one-time bottles of water, take your cups back, refillable, reusable cups or containers. Instead of packing a lunch with plastic bags, plastic film, paper bags that get used once and then thrown in the garbage, refillable containers and lunch boxes. When you go to the grocery store, instead of getting bags from the grocery store, take your reusable shopping bag to fill. All of those things cut down on the waste. So we've been talking about the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle. And obviously I'm standing in a place that needs a little bit help with that reduce. So before I get to work though, just want to let you know that you can get more information on recycling in Spokane County by going to the website www.SpokaneCountySolidWaste.org.
When is less really more? Less watering when it's hot means more water gets to your grass. Use a timer to water early in the morning or at night. Go to slowtheflowspokane.com to find out more ways to use less water.
Distracted walking can be pretty funny if you're watching it on YouTube. What isn't funny are the statistics. Since 2009, pedestrian fatalities and injuries have nearly quadrupled due to distracted walking. Distracted walkers take longer to cross the street and are more likely to ignore traffic signals. 40% of teen pedestrians have been injured or nearly injured, and that risk doubles when they're distracted by a mobile device. See the world around you. Don't walk into it.
Hi, I'm Lori Kinnear, Spokane City Council member, and this is Daisy. Warm weather is a great time to go for a long walk and spend some time playing in the park with your furry friend. While this is fun for both you and your dog, it is important that your pet always be kept on a leash with a license and microchip tag to protect them from getting loose and injuring themselves or others. Love the leash and keep your dog healthy and safe this summer.
Every year, code enforcement, police, fire, health, and other government workers deal with a large number of problems stemming from foreclosed and abandoned homes. Problems such as crime, unkept yards, vandalism, trash, and dumping. And that's just to list a few. These government officials spend a lot of time struggling to find a responsible party to take action on these problems. They research mortgages on the property, call bank 1-800 numbers, and get passed around from bank to bank and from department to department. Meanwhile, citizens rightfully complain. Neighboring home values go down, and elected officials search for an answer. And unfortunately, nationwide mortgage foreclosure rates do not seem to be falling by much. In fact, in many states, foreclosures are on the rise. But there is a property registration solution that provides real relief. Introducing ProChamps, a community champions property registration solution. It's being used in over 130 communities nationwide. And here's how it works. First, your municipality passes an ordinance which requires that foreclosing banks must register the properties upon notice of default on a property and provide information including names and contact info of the bank, servicers, property contact, and others, as well as pay a small registration fee. Sound difficult? ProChamps provides everything needed for this registration system. We do the research to identify these properties, contact the banks, and provide an interactive website where your staff can report problems as they arise directly to the responsible parties. But we aren't done yet. ProChamps has a team of community specialists who have your back. When you have a problem or report a code violation on a registered property, they act as your ambassador to the banks and contact the responsible parties to help ensure the problems get fixed. This program does not change how you normally enforce codes in your community, nor does it create an additional work for staff. We simply add the ProChamps team to partner with and empower you to take care of these problem properties. How much does this service cost? Well, ProChamps shares in those bank registration fees, with the majority of the money going straight back into your community and helping to recover the costs you are already spending on dealing with these properties. This means the program provides revenue for your community with zero out-of-pocket costs. So what are you waiting for? Head to our website, give us a call, schedule a free foreclosure assessment or online demo, and join the 130 plus communities who have already experienced the benefits of partnering with community champions and leveraging our ProChamps solution. Go to ProChamps.com or call us at 1-800-321-CODE and get started today.
How will you be notified if there's an emergency in your neighborhood? Through Alert Spokane, a Spokane County emergency notification system. But if you rely on a cell phone and want to receive alert messages, then you need to register it with Alert Spokane. Registering your cell phone is easy. Go to www.alertspokane.org. Be informed, stay safe, and register your cell phone today at www.alertspokane.org.
The city of Spokane has some of the best parks in the country. Whether you want a quiet moment of solitude or just want to give the kids a chance to cool off. Now imagine having your next celebration in one of these parks. Not only can you play a game or make a splash, you can also invite hundreds of your closest friends and family to enjoy these things with you.
The parks are incredible in Spokane. We've got the best park system in the United States, and the ability to use those natural settings for whatever party or graduation, get together, or reunion, or whatever it may be. The whole nature is right there with you and all the amenities that go with it.
If you're hosting a celebration that would benefit from having tables and benches, you're in luck. The large shelters at Mission, Shadle, Franklin, and Manitou parks are available for rent.
The shelter up at Franklin Park is very popular because it has the splash pad, playground, sports fields nearby. It's the type of thing you would normally have in your backyard or even in your closer neighborhood parks. So a lot of those type of shelters are very popular.
The shelters have arrangeable tables and benches so that they can be customized for your event. It's important to note that these shelters are for rent and are not to be used on a first-come, first-served basis. If you did not rent the facility, you will be expected to vacate the shelter when a permit holder arrives.
When you rent a facility, you're issued a permit for that location, so that's the best thing. Make sure you have your permit with you, and most often if you show that permit to the people that are in there, they will vacate the area. In some cases, like at Franklin, we'll have a staff person on site most of the time, and they'll help clear out the area.
Shelter rentals are available in up to 4-hour increments, and the charges are based on the number of people expected at your event. There are added fees for things like jump castles, sound systems, or if your event is catered. Alcohol is not permitted, and reservations can be made up to a year in advance. No matter your event, a great day in the park is just a reservation away.
We have everything from graduation parties to birthday parties. We have a lot of corporate events in our parks where people will offer a barbecue. This time of year we have high school reunions. You name it, people reserve the park for whatever activity they're looking for.
To rent one of these shelters, go to SpokaneCity.org and click on the reservations link. As Clean Green collection crews lift, dump, and haul, they are starting a process that may be enriching the very soil that you use to build your garden. After Clean Green materials are collected, they get trucked to the Bartek facility. This 40-acre facility employs 10 people that work hard to ensure a quality compost.
The truck comes across the scale here, approximately 28 ton is a full semi-load, comes from the Waste Energy or any of the other transfer stations of the waste systems. They load them in there, they come out here, we weigh them in, and then we take them over to our grinding area and receiving area where the material then starts the process.
After weighing and receiving the Clean Green material, it is offloaded where it enters the next step of the process to become fresh compost.
It comes across the scale, comes over here to our receiving area, receiving and grinding. We take the material, we'll dump it near this big pile. The front end loader pushes it to the grinder, and then the grinder takes it and chops it all up.
At every step of the process, contamination is removed to ensure a quality end product.
These are all the things we don't want in the green bin. We've got plastic, we've got metal in cans, other styrofoam. All of these are recyclable in other ways, but we don't want them in the green container. What's not in here is glass, and we absolutely don't want any glass. So please, no glass, no plastic, no metal. It goes from the grinder, where we grind it, we put the water to it, and we put it over in those piles there, and that's where we start the aeration.
To ensure the proper temperature and a steady decomposition rate, special steps are taken.
There's an inflatable tube that goes under these piles, and we'll build the piles on top of these tubes. Then after 24 hours, we deflate the tube and then pull the tube out from underneath the pile. What that does is it leaves a void, a vault, the length of the pile, that then the transition pipes for the air on the other end then are stuck, stick underneath the pile, and then that allows the air to flow through the pile.
The piles are then covered to help maintain the proper temperature.
Once it's in the pile, then it reaches temperatures in excess of 150 degrees. Our set point is 160 degrees. We try to keep all the piles below 160 degrees. Once if it gets above that, then all the microbes that are really decomposing the material start to die off. These are the temperature probes. These are monitoring the temperature in the pile, and they're wired back to the control panel that then controls the airflow to the pile. So as it gets hotter, then the air increases, and this temperature probe tells the air that you see it's about a 2-foot probe. There are 2 probes per pile, and that's actually controlling our airflows in our piles.
After a 90 to 120 day cook time, the product is almost ready for market.
This is our finished product. Once it goes through the process, then we take the trommel screen. It's a 5/8 screen. We screen the material, get all the overs, all the bigger material, still larger chunks of wood and wood waste. And we screen it down to 5/8, and then this is the final product. This is what goes to market.
The Market being one of many landscaping companies throughout the area. The Home Fires Wood Company sells Bartek's finished compost. The interesting thing about their business, it sits right across the street from the waste energy plant where clean green is dropped off and the process begins again.
It's a full cycle recycle. You put it in the green container, we'll receive it out here, put it through a 90 to 120 day process, and deliver it right back to the lawn and garden place that you probably bought your fertilizer and maybe even the grass seed or any of the pumpkin seeds that you grew last year. You grow all of that, you take all of that, put it back in the green container, and it comes right back to you then in the next spring.
If you'd like more information on what is allowed in your clean green cart, log on to solidwaste.org. Thanks for watching Spokane Insight. If you'd like more information on the City of Spokane, please check us out on social media or on our website, spokanecity.org.